Welcome, everybody, to the ESL Open number 19 Americas. Boy, does it feel good to be back. In the bottom right corner, as the Yellow Terran. You're in the round of 128. It's the Love Muffs, Nigel. And in the top left, he's gone through a little bit of a rebranding. It's the player formerly known as Jennison, playing for Team Exxon. It's Rain Flash. Every single match is still going to be best of 3 up until the grand finals. Now, there's a key difference here compared to previous ESL weeklies. The prize pool has been freaking tripled, man, thanks to the ESL Pro Tour. Absolutely tremendous. Unfortunately, due to these uncertain times, all live events in the current season of StarCraft 2 have been canceled. But these online Pro Tour Cups have had their prize pool tripled, and there's still plenty of events throughout the year that are going to be happening. So, start off our game. Jennison going to do battle. Now, what Jennison has scouted is that Nigel's barracks is totally missing. He is going to be searching around for a proxy. I already see he's sent out a second probe. But this is a fake proxy. Nigel is just trying to trick Jennison. This is a small context clue that Nigel didn't proxy his barracks, meeting the Reaper outside the main of Nigel. However, question is, did Rain Flash catch on? And I think that the answer is yes. I think he caught on very quickly that he wasn't facing an aggressive build. He's just playing very standard, and he's going to go into 2-stalker aggression. Nigel is increasing his barracks count, going into factory, which is a little bit strange. Wow, that voice crack. So normally you want to be going for a Widowmine drop or a Hellion drop or something to keep the Protoss honest, keep him on his toes, but Nigel's dropped a bunker at the front. He's gone for add-ons on the barracks. He's going to send out some Marines to get to the bunker. He needs to get those Marines in the bunker. Needs a... Okay, this is a nice SCV micro, blocking the Stalker in. Jennison's going to pull out for now, so he can regroup with the second Stalker. Turned out just fine for Nigel. 2 SCVs did fall, but ultimately, he's okay. Nigel is not going for aggression of any kind right now. He's going directly into stim, increasing his bio count. He is getting up a starport, but nothing is being produced at the factory yet. And it looks like nothing will be produced at the factory, even still. Okay, he's going to get a tech lab on it, and pump out double medevacs. So this is just a full-on 2-base Marine tank push from our Terran. Jennison, the god of Blink Stalkers, or as he's known now, Rain Flash. He's, wouldn't you know it, getting Stalkers and getting Blink. He's been experiencing continuous improvement throughout the year. I think he's like 5,300 right now, 5,350, moving up the ranks of Grandmaster, and he's come a long way in a little short amount of time. I would not be surprised if we followed him into the round of 32. And I would not be surprised if, well, it depends who he meets, right? But we could see a round of 16 Rain Flash as well. Exxon's a newer team on the scene. It's been doing a lot of good work. I've been watching you closely, Commander, and Dricket's been funding tournaments. He's funding the new season of Alpha Team League. So I guess I'm a little bit biased there. I am an admin for ATL, but yeah, no, Exxon has just been a positive force in the community. Unfortunately, Rain Flash was not a positive force for our Terran here, picking off a completely full medevac. He's gotten a Warp Prism out at home. He's going into charge. Nigel is still increasing his medevac count, his bio count, and his tank count, but he lost so many Marines there for no damage, and now he's going to have to hold a push from Jennison. He wanted to be the aggressor here, and the tables have totally flipped on him. This is just an overwhelming force from the Protoss. No SCVs are pulled to repair the bunker. It gets 3 volleyed. Tank does deploy, or 2 tanks are back here to hold down the front for Nigel. But behind this, the Protoss has gotten up a 3rd Nexus. Nigel's just starting up his 3rd CC, and his army is not where he wants it to be right now. Did he even get +1? I don't think he did. No, he hasn't invested in combat shields, +1, or Marauder Slow just yet. Okay, combat shields are about to finish. +1 just started up as I call it out. There's an SCV with this push. I think that's totally accidental here on Nigel's part. It's clipping some Vespine gas through the back of this Marine. The first disruptor is going to hit the field for Jennison. Well, second disruptor is going to hit the field for Jennison. The first disruptor is towards the front. +1 is about halfway done. Templar Archive started up for the Protoss. He's going to lose about 6 probes, but he gets another medevac. The worker count is slightly in favor of the Terran, but that army supply is not, and this is not like cheap army supply from Rain Flash. Significant amount of Blink Stalkers with this army. +1 weapons are about to finish. The disruptor count keeps increasing. Charge is researched for the Zealots, and I just don't know how Nigel goes into the late game at this point. I don't even know if he survives the mid game. It all depends on these disruptor shots from Jennison. These 2 tanks are looking like juicy targets. Oh no! A 3rd medevac gets intercepted here from Jennison! Couple of Zealots delaying production, finishing in the main, gonna distract some of the army, and it looks like Rain Flash is going to overwhelm at the 3rd. GG is called. Rain Flash with the well played. In the bottom left of Everdream, as the yellow Protoss, for Team Exxon, it's Rain Flash. And in the top right, as the blue Terran from Beloved Muff, it's Nigel. Did anyone ever watch The Wild Thornberries when you were a kid? Dad was named Nigel, and he was like the best character. He had like this British accent. He was just, I don't know, he was incredible. Anyway, it's gonna be a gateway opener from Rain Flash. Nigel. Here's standard. Reaper opener. This time he's going to keep his barracks in his base, not trying anything fancy. Cyber Core goes down at the proper time. We're not going to see any proxies out of Rain Flash, at least for a little while. Nigel is working on his second CC. I would not be surprised to see Rain Flash go into 2-stalker aggression once again. There's our first stalker now. That first stalker is always coming out to meet the Reaper, though. A lot of times it's an adept, not a stalker, but this is just Rain Flash's style of play. Stim is started up for Terran. I think this is quite a bit earlier than in our previous game. He's going to get on a Marauder this time. And Rain Flash is sending out a Stalker again. So Marauder pops just in time. There's plenty of time for it to get into the bunker. And this is held. In game number 1. Nigel lost 2 SCVs to this aggression. This time it's 0 SCVs, so a way better start for a Terran. But game number 1 was kind of defined by the slaughter of the medevacs of Nigel. They couldn't catch any luck. Air traffic control is like, yeah, you're clear. Niner, your skies are blue. No stalkers in sight, and there's like 4 stalkers 3 feet in front of the medevac, and well, rip 8 Marines. Nigel really needs to get harass damage done in the early game. You'll see the Protoss is ahead 6 workers. That's very standard in the matchup. Terran is, of course, utilizing mules to supplement the deficit in the worker count. What you'll also notice, though, is that Nigel hasn't scouted any tech of the Protoss. He has no idea what's happening here. He doesn't know about the Twilight, doesn't know about the Robo, doesn't know about any of these gateways, and that story would really help him out. Rain Flash, the information he would find out from scouting would really help him out. I don't know why I said story. So Rain Flash sends in an observer. It's gonna deploy it. It's gonna undeploy it. He's gonna see all these Marauders. It's like 2 Marines and unlimited Marauders here. Rain Flash drops a Robo Bay. Blink is almost finished for him. Stim and Marauder Slow are in the field for Nigel. Okay. He's just gonna walk this time. He's not gonna drop. They're gonna take the safe way across the map. But I think Jennison has enough to hold this. It's gonna come down to proper micro. Marauder Slow is great if you have stalkers trying to move in and out of range, or you're running away, or whatever, but it doesn't really affect Blink. And Nigel is easily deflected. +2 is on the way for the Protoss, as well as Charge, and a third Nexus is going to be dropped as soon as Rain Flash has the minerals. Nigel is continuing to pump out Bio. By Bio, I mean Mass Marauder. Nigel is making an attack on the third of Rain Flash. Reaper goes down at the front right away. Zealots are getting gunned down one at a time, but their job was to be meat shields, and meat shields they were. The Warp Prism is going to zip in with a Disruptor. 4 Marauders go down. That's about a third of the force over here. Yeah, Nigel really needs to boost out of there. That Blink could have devastated a medevac cloud. Or Terran is getting into 1-1. I'm not sure what this medevac's doing. Okay, he's just gonna send it around the right side. Try to hit the main, I guess? Jennison. Excuse me, Rain Flash with multiple pylons. Power his right gateways, but this pylon is a critical weak spot in the Protoss's base. This going down. And power 2 gateways. The Twilight, which is... You know, the Twilight's pretty much done its job at this point as long as it stays on the map, but the robotics facility would stop pumping out disruptors for a little while. Jennison has an observer positioned out here, though, so he's going to see the drop incoming. I don't know why they dropped there. Okay. Enter the main of the Protoss. Right as 1-1 hits the field for the Terran. That's 4 unpowered gateways. Disruptor pops, though. One shot could end this drop. These guys got to get a little bit more aggressive. Nigel is focusing on his push at the other side. These disruptors means the Terran can't afford to not look at this army. And you can see just how quickly Rain Flash's disruptor play took down that drop. The second Nigel was devoting his attention over here to dodge these disruptor shots. Oh man. That's a nice snipe. 5 sentries going down is nothing to sneer at. Nigel is going to bleed out a few medevacs. He's continuing to press his luck. He's taken out all the disruptors. He's going to stutter step back. Well, not all the disruptors. One comes in from the side, takes out half of the Marauder force that's at the front. Another one is coming in from behind. Jennison is still trying to hold on. Another massive disruptor hit. These disruptor hits are keeping him in the game. This is a very micro-intensive army. It's very hard to control as the Protoss. But Nigel has to stay on his toes as well during these engagements. In all, Rain Flash took 6 probes and damage. These gateways were unpowered for a while. And of course, the armies traded with one another. Things have pretty much evened out. Nigel, a little while ago, started throwing a couple Marines into the mix of his bio ball. He's going for a double drop. Rain Flash is still threatening with these disruptors. If Rain Flash was paying attention, he knows what direction these medevacs moved out in. Yeah, he's ready to intercept with the Blink Stalker hit squad. One medevac goes down, still with 2 Marauders inside. Second medevac goes down as well. These Stalkers will lose their lives, but... Oh, one even gets out. Does it, though? They bought precious time for Rain Flash to react and hold. And hold he will, taking no economic or production damage. Nigel has kind of rebuilt an army here. His production is nothing to laugh at. And he's taken a 4th CC down here along the right side of the map. So it's still a pretty even game. Now, that's what I would say, except for the fact that Rain Flash has +3 weapons. 2-2 are going to finish for the Terran, but those +3 weapons are going to hit very, very, very hard. In this coming engagement, 2-2 isn't on the field for the Terran yet. Oh my god, he wasn't paying attention! That's half his army. That was half his army in one disruptor shot. A medevac going down as well. He's trying to buy time for 2-2 to get on the field so he can trade at least a little bit more effectively. He's trying to come in from behind so he can snipe the Warp Prism. Nope, he changed his mind. There's still one more disruptor shot after this. There it is. Took out like 2 units there. That shot was more effective. SCVs are pulled to the front to fight. 20 of them have fallen. Rain Flash will overrun the space. Nigel is doing everything he can to hold on. He's going to stutter step backwards. But every second that ticks by gets closer to sealing his doom. GG, well played is called. Well played, GG, good luck. In the top left of Simulacrum, from Exxon Esports, it's Rain Flash. And in the bottom right, from Icebound, as the blue Protoss, it's Riser. Another best of 3. You guys know the drill. It's a round of 64 a match. Winner is going to move on to the round of 32. Rain Flash is going for a probe scout. Riser is not. At least not yet. Okay, Riser's sending out his probe now. So, a little bit of an explanation of what the players are doing, scout-wise. Assuming Riser isn't dropping a proxy, which I don't think he is. There's zero evidence pointing toward that. Jennison was making sure his opponent didn't proxy a gateway, pull a max pack, something like that. While Riser is just trying to make sure he sees what his opponent's first 2 units out of the gateway are. Rain Flash. Interestingly enough, didn't seem too concerned with what those first two gateway units are. Usually this is... Yeah, Riser isn't looking either. Usually you want to see if your opponent is going Stalkers, Stalker Sentry, or double Adept. Riser is going to go back in for the Scout. Rain Flash, of course, is not. No units are out on the map to do so. Riser is going to nonetheless move 2 Stalkers in here, but he's going to be met with 4 Stalkers. So this isn't going to go too well for him if he commits to the attack. Riser is going to force Rain Flash back here. No major damage has been dealt. Okay, Riser dropped a Proxy Pylon. He's going to morph in a couple Adepts. Now, there was a couple ways... Well, okay, so Riser's lost 2 probes so far this game, without Jennison ever entering his base. But basically what these Adepts can do is they can suicide into the main of Jennison. Jennison has to have a probe in the wall to drop a shield battery to get the block on the Shades. Okay, he has 3 probes there. None of them drop the block, but he's able to DPS the Adepts down nonetheless. He knows where the Proxy Pylon is instinctually on this map, and is going to shut that down as well. I was talking to Rain Flash a little bit before the match, while Riser got his stuff set up, and Rain Flash is like, this is going to be a weird game. A weird match, rather, and he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. I mean, it's not like, wow, this is wacky and out of this world. It's more like, you know, it's... these two are kind of playing the player as opposed to the matchup right now, I think. Blink is going to finish first for Rain Flash, of course. Riser is getting his own Blink. It's only halfway done. It's getting a Forge behind this. This is telling me he probably is going to be aiming to take... Well, I'm a little bit confused. Like, Rain Flash's Forge is just so much earlier. Riser is 2 workers ahead. And that means he has had better macro. Remember, he bled out a couple probes early on in the game, which 2 probes early in the game doesn't sound like a big deal. But when you're on a tiny economy, every probe loss is felt a little bit more. 1 Stalker gets left out here. Okay, Rain Flash realizes it. The gateways are unpowered. Blink should be off cooldown, and he's going to be able to get out. Looks like he's trying to bait Riser forward as he blinks down to the low ground one at a time. Very little hull damage goes down on this these Stalkers. Few of Risers have been injured. Rip that hallucinated Phoenix. There's still plenty of Sentry energy here. Force Fields, not the most useful against Blink Stalkers. They are a little bit, but I think Jennison took the worst of these trades. Oh, that was a beautiful snipe forward, but Riser lost a Stalker himself on the retreat. Rain Flash is a couple army supply ahead here. Riser, a little bit ahead in economy. There's also an interesting economic decision being made on both sides. Riser went for a heavier mineral economy. Rain Flash did take both gases at his natural, so almost twice the gas income for him. Riser now up 6 probes. So while Rain Flash has been trading better than the blue toss most of this game, the extra economy for Riser has been making up for his losses. However, I think Rain Flash actually is going to overwhelm here. This is just such a good engagement for a yellow Protoss. A dozen probes go down. Ooh. Okay, this just became a horrible engagement for a yellow Protoss. He's actually gonna recall just to make sure he can escape with at least part of his army. Luckily for him, Riser wasn't committing. To running the yellow Protoss down. Gonna see another disruptor pop here. Warp Prism speed, +2 weapons. Army supply is pretty even. Rain Flash sent his first disruptor out. Okay, he's gonna come in from behind and try to get a shot off. He needs to hold in the meantime. This shot is gonna matter so much. There it is. Oh, Riser is able to snipe it down. The second disruptor is sniped down as well, and it looks like Riser is gonna take game number 1. In the bottom left corner of Ever Dream as the Golden Protoss, it's Rain Flash playing for Team Exxon. In the top right, playing for Icy as the Blue Protoss, it's Riser. Riser took game number 1. This is our rank 70 NA Grandmaster against the rank 130. So Riser is favored to take the series. There are only 60 players dividing these two contestants in skill. Well, skill rating anyway. MMR is debatable. I know Rain Flash regularly likes to practice with Nina, practice with Morshi and Meow, his fellow teammates. But the Nina practice is probably what's helping him out the most here. In a PvP. Again, we're going to see the difference in the two scout timings. Riser, much later scout. Rain Flash, making sure he isn't getting proxied. He's looking for the second pylon from Riser. He sees it, knows he's going to be okay. Okay, this time Riser is going to drop a pylon so we can see what the first two units are. I'll pop out here. That was a smooth move. I don't think Riser was able to see the stalkers. It's going to be a much more defensive Stalker Sentry this time from Riser. He's going Stalker Sentry for his second wave of units as well. It's going to... Yeah, the reason you open Stalker Sentry is to get that hallucinated Phoenix out for the Scout. Just gonna see the Stalkers. Goes into the main, sees the Twilight Council. And it's gonna be another blink play from Rain Flash. No surprise there. I can click my mouse accurately. Let's get that camera centered. Another Phoenix Scout comes in. Is gonna see everything it wants to. Sees the Robo, sees the Forge. Sees the Twilight. Riser is getting his own Forge a little bit later than Rain Flash. This time Riser is gonna pull ahead 6 probes, which is massive. 8 probes ahead. This is an insane lead. This is just from Rain Flash, not making probes himself. That's all that is. Riser hasn't sent a single unit on the attack. Now, thanks to this, Rain Flash was able to get up earlier tech. He's going to have a little bit earlier +1. Does of course have blink before the Twilight of Riser is even finished, but he has no choice other than to get damage done, and that's going to be a tall order against someone as efficient with his micro as Riser, especially with 2 Immortals that are going to be out to try and hold this. Riser is so confident here. He's throwing down a Templar Archives, looking to get into Archons. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna bully these Blink Stalkers out, and then I'm gonna take a 3rd, and there's nothing you can do about it. Rain Flash throws down his own 3rd Nexus. Army supply is even here, but I think it's higher value for Riser. A nice smooth move there from Rain Flash, picking off the Observer of Riser, so his own Observer is going to survive out here. He's committing more Stalkers into the fight. He's only down 5 probes now, which is still pretty dire, but hey, it's less than being 8 probes down. And he's just trying to get as much of a delay on Riser's 3rd as he possibly can. Upgrades are evened out. That Immortal is going to run back to the shield battery, tap the keg, and fill up on shields a little bit before rejoining the fight. Riser's pushing out pretty far here. Looks like he's trying to run Rain Flash down again, but this time it's not going to be as successful. Now, Rain Flash has to be super careful. He can just never engage this army. I think Riser feels that he's been contained for too long. He's going to go for a push. That's exactly what he's going to do. He slides past Stalkers of Rain Flash. Rain Flash moves in from behind. He's trying to snipe the Immortals. Riser is able to save the Immortal with the Warp Prism. These guys have both taken a little bit of hull damage. Rain Flash is going to recall home, but he is at a huge army supply disadvantage. 60 army supply to 39. He's going to have to perform some of the best micro in his life to stay alive. First disruptor shot only gets 2 zealots. Every unit counts here. That's a lot of high Templar for Riser. He's confident he can hold the front while those Archons finish up. A lot of zealots being traded on both sides. The second disruptor's here for Rain Flash. 3 stalkers go down. That's a very nice pick, but the numbers are just still so against him. Oh, okay, an Immortal evaporated there. Riser is pushing right into the thick of Rain Flash's base. And Rain Flash is doing the best he can, but it's literally a numbers game. And Riser just has too much firepower on the field. Zealots are cutting down probes left and right. Well played is called, and Riser takes the series 2-0. At the top of Purity and Industry, as the Red Terran, the first point on the board, it's Avalo. And on the right side, Purity and Industry, as the tenacious Pink Zerg, it's Betty White. It's been a while since I've casted Betty White. The first match I ever casted after the ESL Pro Tour was announced back at Katowice was Betty White versus Maru. And for some reason, on my YouTube channel, it is by far the most viewed video. It's regularly like, my new videos will get like 1-2 views. Every week, it's like in my top 3 viewed videos. It's still getting views, man. But Avalo is currently up 1-0. This is another round of 64 match, so strap yourselves in. Wouldn't be surprised if this went past the 20-minute mark. Avalo is a controversial figure in the community, but we are just going to focus on his gameplay today. He, as a StarCraft 2 player, he can provide some very entertaining games as a caster. I've seen him land nukes that have killed 20 Broodlords of Jim Rising. Like, Jim Rising isn't a bad player. He's, you know, a high-level American Grandmaster. Well, not, you know what I mean, not United States American, but America's server Grandmaster. And Avalo can land nukes on that guy. Like, on occasion, he can play really well and take down the best opponents, but so can Betty White. Betty White is escorting the drone out to make a third. Will he be able to get it down? Reaper's trying hard to snipe the drone. The drone is positioning to become a refinery. This Reaper is such low health. Betty White gets the third down. Betty White panicked there. Made an extra set of lanes. It's like, oh god, it's a Chad Reaper. Reaper, okay. Avalo is paying attention. He is going to save it for now. Okay, the Reaper gets picked off at a respectable 3 minutes 30 seconds in ZVT. That's about the time you want the Reaper get picked off as the Zerg player. But okay, this is a pretty big Ling Flood from Betty White. 4 Hellions can deal with this. It does require proper positioning and a lot of micro. What we're really looking for is 6 Hellions from Avalo. Betty White's sneaking them around the field. They haven't been scouted. Avalo did have a tell. There was an extra set of Lings that he saw. Okay, the first 2 Lings fall. Well, one of them does anyway. Okay. Look at that caster call. They did both die. Ha! That water underneath the... No, that's like a digital effect. Betty White's gonna try for the wing run by the second he sees the Hellions move out. Marauder isn't gonna do very much against Zerglings. The Supply Depot goes up in time. The Zerglings reverse course. They're gonna try to get some worker kills. Only one SCV has fallen. That's a lot of lost larva for Betty White to only kill one SCV. Even the Hellions survive, and now Avalo is gonna move out with Hellion Banshee. 3 queens are at the wall for Betty White to defend. Hey, Scholar. Welcome, welcome. 2 drones fall. 3, 4, 5 drones fall. Favelo saves all the Hellions. That's going to be definitely worth it. Yeah, I mean, Betty White is up to 50 workers. Looks like he's gonna go up to 60. +1 ranged on the way. A couple overseers morphing in. And Roach speed started up. So, I think what Betty White is going to try to do here is sit on this 3-base saturation, maybe get up 2 more gases. Okay, maybe get up like 1 more gas. Could sit on 4 gas as well. That's an infestation pit. We might see some Swarm Host play. Okay, there's a Hydra Den. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to predict. I don't know what's going on. Is it going to be like Roach Hydra Infestor? Avalo's made a battle cruiser for some harass. He's going to move it out. Viking taking out an Overlord. Betty White does have a Spore in the main. This Overlord should escape. It's going to be close. Oh man. Avalo turns around. He's like, no. 3 health remaining. It gets picked off. Betty White's just letting these Overseers take it like men. Avalo gets up his 3rd CC. Missile turret already on location. Widow Mines moving out. Siege tanks increasing their count. More factories going down. The Mech God of Terran is living up to his name. Getting that turtle power ready. Betty White. It's going into a Hydra heavy count. Okay, the infestation pit was just for Hive. This is a quick Hive. This is a very fast Hive from our Zerg player. 4th base has been thrown down as well. And I think Betty White is just counting on Avalo to maintain this defensive posture. Betty White's going to try to max out. And once that happens, there are 2 options here. Betty White can either launch an all-out attack and try to overwhelm Avalo, while the Zerg's sitting around, 185 to 200 supply, and Avalo is sitting around 150 before he gets that fully maxed out mech army. Or Betty White can maintain a defensive posture, stay at the edge of creep, keep spreading that creep, and continue to try and take the map. It looks like Betty White is going on the attack. I feel like this is a little bit early to be doing this at only 150 supply. I could be wrong, though. So many Hydra here. The army supply isn't that disparate. 2 battle cruisers move into the main of Betty White. They get a half dozen drones. They're gonna kill the Spore, maybe. Alright, no, they're gonna get out of there, actually. Roach Hydra is getting ready to pounce. Avalo repositions his army. He sees it on the radar now. The tanks will be sieged in time, and they're gonna do devastating things to the Hydra if they target... Okay, the Roach shield is gone. It's just Hydra here. There's like 3 Roaches in the mix. This was not good for Betty White. Now Avalo is going to be able to get that maxed out mech army that he really wants to get into. The turtle's going to continue for CC on the way. Avalo is just such a methodical player. He's going to move the CC out and make sure it's secured. He's going to make sure he has the tanks he needs to defend it. He's going to make sure he has the radar tower up. And keep the onus on Betty White to crack the turtle shell that he has up, basically. Avalo is just such like a... He's similar to Bly. Now, why am I saying that? Well, Bly has been pulling the same bullshit for the past 10 years, right? He's proxy hatching Protosses. He's doing his thing. He's doing his weird builds. Avalo's the same way. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna turtle. I'm not gonna turn on unit health bars. I'm gonna make you come to me. I'm gonna put the onus on you to defeat me. So many Hydra died there just to tank fire. There's still Widow Mines in the back that haven't shot. A couple yoinks went off there, but in the meantime, like, a lot of Hydra died. Oh. I think Avalo targeted that. I'm pretty sure he right-clicked the mine onto the Viper. Betty White's trying a different angle. But there's so many tanks here. There's so many tanks. Oh, no, 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 no. The Hydra are coming back. The Widow Mine's almost off cooldown. Seconds away. 2, 1. Ah! Okay, that wasn't that dramatic. One Hydra dies. A lot are softened up. Oh, man. 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 Look at the resources lost down here in the bottom left. 10,000 lost for Betty White to 5,000 for Avalo. Both players even on bases. Betty White is ahead 20 workers, but Betty White needs to be ahead 20 workers. Because the Zerg is just never going to trade efficiently against this, especially with this unit composition. Betty White really needs Swarm Hosts or Brood Lords or something. There's no Thors with this army yet. There are the Battle Cruisers, there are the Ghosts, but I think Brood Lords would have been the way to go. However, it's too late now. Like, what do you do against this? I think the answer is Swarm Host. But you can't keep trading out these expensive Hydra! Binding Clouds are dropped on the tanks, but the Battle Cruiser is still putting in work from the skies. And the Binding Cloud has worn off. There's no more energy on these Vipers. A lot of feedback went off. We're gonna have to eat that Evo Chamber. Gonna have to reposition. This Viking's being annoying. The Hydra will shut it down, but... Look at this, well, literal minefield that Avalo has set up. Devastating Widow Mine hits. Devastating Siege Tank shots. GG is called. Avalo takes... In the bottom right corner of Nightshade as the red Protoss, it's Gerald. In the top left, sometimes he defends the Hidden Leaf, other times he takes to our bases and builds siege tanks around them. It's Avalo. Avalo sends in an SCV scout. Gerald sends out a probe scout. No proxies from the Protoss, no proxies from the Terran. I have a gentleman's game opener here in the round of 32. Avalo proxies an engineering bay to delay the second nexus of the Protoss. I don't think it did get a delay. Wait a minute, let me suss this out. It was a couple seconds if it was a delay. Gerald just made a stalker, so Gerald not able to get a block on the CC. The SCV is going to finish it up just fine. Avalo gets the kill. Gerald sends out a Zealot Stalker harass. There is a bunker here for Avalo. It's going to start pumping out damage. So Zealot runs by. He's trying to get a snipe on the SCV. Stalker distracts the bunker. Avalo sends out a third SCV. But this is already a delay in the command center of about 6 seconds. When SCV goes down, trades out for the Zealot. So about a 10-second delay on this command center, I think, in total. Orb Gates 10 seconds out. Or Gerald. It's gonna be just fine. And yeah, we're seeing this really standard European Protoss style of play from Gerald. You know, they all kind of do it. Him, Christianer, Marsman. He's going to keep increasing his stalker count a little bit. He might push out onto the map again. Avalo is going to try and take a third. I don't think we're going to see any two-base pushes here from the Terran. He's getting up a missile turret as well. Blink is coming out for Gerald. He's going to invest in charge next. Avalo's going for a Liberator harass, okay. Gerald drops the third Nexus. Avalo gets out a medevac. And looks like he's going for a mine drop follow-up, maybe? Maybe not. This is like way too late for a mine drop at this point. What's he doing with these medevacs? It's getting Marines too. Avalo getting Marines. I dare say. Alright, 4 probes fall to the Liberator. Link Stalkers are going to make short work of the Freedom Spreader though. But those 4 stalkers, or 3 stalkers, aren't at the front. Helping out the invading forces of Gerald. Avalo throws down a third CC. Missile turret picks off the Observer, which means These stalkers no longer have high ground vision to blink into Avalor's base. Well played there by the Blue Terran. With his missile turret placement. More factories are coming up. And I would get comfortable, get your snacks now, because it would shock nobody. This ended up being a very long game. I don't think Gerald can break Avalo here. And well, he did get another 4 probes. Okay, another 6 probes. This is not game-ending damage from Avalo, and he's not going to be sending out any quick-moving attack forces anytime soon. This is a very slow, very methodical, very plotting army coming out from Avalo. It's good at, you know, zones of defense, area denial, but it's not made to go attack your opponent. It's not made to harass your opponent. It's not made to go out and end the game. Avalo's pushing for this very late game army where he's maxed out, he's stronger than his opponent, and his opponent has bled himself out by crashing into the turtle shell. Avalo's going to load up 4 Widow Mines. Okay, it was a very late Widow Mine drop. Look at that. Gerald does see it with the Stalker. He can run this medevac down if he wants. Widow Mine burrows to make sure that doesn't happen. It's going to walk across the map, looks like. Gerald takes a 4th. Avalo boosts in. He's going to get the mine drop off. Nine probes go down. It's a nice pick for Avalo. He's going to pull ahead 7 workers. Hellions move out. They're going to pick off the Stalker Scouts of Gerald. Gerald's going to try to escape with Blink. Tries to intercept this Hellion Strike Force. It's not going to be successful. He loses 1 Stalker, trades it out for a single Hellion. So let's plug the gap. These Hellions are going to try to use to get into the 3rd. But Avalo... Oh, okay, so... Avalo met up with the medevac that dropped the mines. He picked up, he tried to enter the natural, but Gerald was already on top of it. Understood what was happening and reacted. Gerald moves in. He's dropping a lot of Storm. That's going to soften up the SCVs. Only 4 kills, though. And this tank line is invincible at this point. Like, you can't kill these tanks with that many Stalkers. Avalo saves the CC with minimal damage to himself. Gerald's going to replenish his army with a warp in back home. He's getting out a new warp prism. Avalo tries to get a Hellion run by going. It's not going to happen. And he is very painfully slowly building up to that 200 supply he wants. Gerald takes a 5th base. He's like, alright, my opponent has mass siege tank and a couple Thors. He's not going to be launching an attack on me for some time. I can get away with this many bases. And indeed he can. It's Turtle Toss versus Turtle Terran. +2 weapons are about to hit the field for a Protoss. +2 armor is a little bit farther away. Avalow's getting out Cloak. I guess he wants to do some Banshee harass. Or maybe even mix those Banshees in with his main army. He's producing them 3 at a time. That's a lot of Banshee. When he went triple Starport, I didn't think that was the route he was going to go. Especially with so many Blink Stalkers on the map and Archons. And he is aware of this army composition. Okay, the Widowmine scouted this. Scouting Widowmine OP. Oh, Gerald! Okay, he comes in from 2 angles. Blinks on top of the tanks. And it's gonna be enough. That's GG. No GG from Avalo, though, as Gerald. In the bottom left corner of Everdream, as the red Protoss, it's Gerald. And in the top right, as the red Terran, or as the blue Terran, it's Avalo. Gerald is currently up 1-0 in the best of 3. I do dig this little turtle. It's very endearing. Okay. Avalo's gone for an engineering bay block again. He's gonna cancel it. Gerald didn't have the money to make a Nexus yet anyway. There we go. 400 minerals. He drops it. Avalo starts up his CC. Avalo's checking around for proxies, I suppose. Gerald's playing him straight up, though. Twilight Council from our Protoss. He's going to be researching some tech soon. This is just a very, very calm, peaceful early game. It's gonna be a slow build again, I think. Okay. Maybe never mind. Gerald's dropped a Dark Shrine. He's gotten up a Robo Facility. We're probably going to see a Warp Prism first out of there. It's probably going to head across the map, deploy, and drop some DTs. Get all over our blue turtle Terran friend. Let the tension build. Perez asking, no mic? No, we got a mic. I'm just, I'm pacing myself. These tournaments can get quite long. Save it for the action. Like, that Reaper getting picked off. Oh my god, tasteless! That Reaper is nothing but a spot of blood on the floor 5 minutes into this game. Yeah, that means no scouting. Coming down. I did my tasteless voice for Artosis. I don't know why I did that. Poor DT's warping in. Okay, he's not going to bother with the DT harass. He's going straight into Archons, which is probably good, as Avalo does have a Raven on the field. Missile turrets are in position to intercept, and Gerald will be flying through them. There's even an SCV at each missile turret. I don't know if that's intentional. That could be for repair. Actually... Okay, Gerald cleans up the missile turret. He's got to be very careful with the Warp Prism. We'll get out of there safely. But any major damage has been stopped here by Avalo. He's going to throw down 2 more missile turrets in the back. Some Zealots are going to run interference into the natural. As the Warp Prism splits off and hits the main, probably. Maybe not. Okay, the Warp Prism is going to help out at the front. Disable has been dropped on it. Now, of course, that means it can't drop or pick up units. It cannot deploy until that wears off. Gerald's going to shift into the main. He has thrown down a 3rd Nexus behind this. He's making his gamble here. Avalo moves in a Cloak Banshee. There's no Observer in range, so it will get to shoot its missiles, but it's going to take it a while to clean this up. When Archon goes down, 7 SCVs have fallen for the blue Terran. That's going to put Gerald at almost a 12 worker lead. Avalo's still fighting to stay in this, but Gerald's gotten significant damage done. Hold position on the tank, stop the charge lots from taking it out immediately, but it did eventually go down. Even more SCVs are getting picked off. Warp Prism finally goes down. With it, died that entire warp in. Oh man, the engineering bay gets picked off, and Avalo is kind of in tatters, but he's still alive, he's still in the game, and I don't think he's going to tap out just yet. Still in the game is debatable, but, I mean, technically speaking, he has not left the game. So, let's see, a 20 worker lead for Gerald. Avalo has shipped weapons. Just going to make these Banshees pack a little bit more firepower. Storm is hitting the field for Gerald. It's up a base. Things are just straight up looking up for the Protoss. Yes, shield battery's already positioned, meaning until it runs out of energy, these probes are nigh on invincible. Banshee gets picked off. Only 3 probes falling in total during that entire attack. Gerald is moving across map once again. Avalos investing in more missile turrets, but I think the ground army is going to be the deciding factor here for our Terran. There's only one unit that those missile turrets can shoot. I mean, of course, they're going to deter DTs as well, but I don't think that would be much of a factor anyway. Okay, alright. Well, they do their job. They kill the Warp Prism. Avalo sends the Banshee back in. It's not quite able to kill that Stalker. Okay. The battery's out of energy, but only 2 more probes going down for Gerald. Still 6-worker lead for our Protoss. Gerald is investing in DT Blink. Avalo is going into Hyperflight Rotors, and he's triple pumping Banshee. Feedback on the Banshee hiding back there. We'll take it out. That was our... Okay. Bashett's heading to the Mountain Banshee. Is trying to take out some probes once again, but that shield battery that was here before is, in fact, still here. When you don't kill a building, it generally speaking remains on the field. And shield batteries do regenerate energy over time, so this probe line's still pretty invincible to a single Banshee. Gerald takes a 4th and chooses to move out. The Banshee is going after a pylon this time. It was like a Wile E. Coyote Banshee. It will finally meet its end. Gerald warps in 3 Stalkers. Here we go, a huge attack from Gerald. Disruption cast on one of the prisms, but Gerald's like, there is another. That was a nice Dorito cannon shot, but I just don't think Avalo has enough to hold on. So many Blink Stalkers. What a balanced matchup! Gerald takes the series 2-0. In the top right corner of Eternal Empire here in the round of 16. Did somebody call a doctor? It's Team Liquid's the little one. And in the bottom left, it's the South American juggernaut playing for Team Exxon as the Blue Zerg. It's Cham. TLO. Moving over to reside in the Americas, currently. Basically a Canadian. Basically a Canadian at this point. Always a pleasure to cast him. He had some insightful commentary on the Pylon show, as he always does this week. Talking about how to treat yourself right. How to do those stretches, drink that water. Take care of yourself. As someone in the field of esports. Dr. Dario goes for a quick 3rd in ZVZ. This is something pretty unique to him. I don't see too many other... I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't seen other Zergs do this, but TLO does it the most for sure. This is really, really, really trusting your opponent not to pull first you. Luckily for him, Cham did not go pull first. Now, TLO is going to be weak in another department for a little while. He's going to be behind in gas. So, That's going to be a later link speed for him. He's only down a drone right now. And here's where his advantage is going to take effect. He's going to have more larva production. Now, larva... It's debatable how many resources there are in the game of StarCraft. What do you mean, Renegade? What are you talking about? There's only minerals and Vespene gas. No. From a certain point of view, there's supply, there's scouting information, and then we get crazier from there. How we want to calculate our resources, but the Zerg has two unique resources. They have creep spread, and they have larva. Although you could argue creep spread falls under scouting or vision as a resource, but larva is really important in early game ZVZ. You're trying to out-ling bane your opponent, basically, and TLO is just going to be able to have more lings, have more drones in the long run. And Cham is getting up his own third. But he will start keeping up soon here, but you can see 4 Zerglings in favor of TLO. He's going to be safe for a while. He can triple pump queens if he needs to. Not that I think he's going to do that, but we are going to move into the mid game. We are going to see roaches come out. So far, it's just been a gentleman's game between the two players. Cham did send out 4 lings. He did tap at that third base, but it was too late by the time he arrived. Eightlings hitting the field for Cham. A couple banelings as well. TLO sends out 2 Zerglings to scout what his opponent is up to. He's probably going to delay this queen a little bit. He un-aggroes the queen from the Overlord. He could have gone for a Baneling snipe. He chose not to. Instead, running into the Nat, he sees the lane count. I don't think Cham wants to move out just yet. He runs in a Baneling to see if he can do some damage, but it's not happening. You hear me? TLO, it's gonna defend everything. Cham has to throw at him for the next couple, well, the next minute and a half or so. If the Blue Zerg chooses to go that route, both players are pretty even in workers. Cham was lightly supply blocked there for a little bit. He alleviates it, and the arms race continues. Both players are going to have +1 pretty much at the same time. Cham did go for speed quicker, and he is going for Overlord speed as well. TLO's going for a Spire play. Okay, Cham did see it. It looked for a second like the Overseer was just out of range, but is going to get supply blocked from losing that Overseer. He's going into Lurkers behind this. That was a nice defensive Baneling hit from TLO. Even nicer, pulling back the remaining 2 Banelings. So he traded efficiently there. Cham's beginning Hydra production, 7, about to hit the field. This is going to serve 2 purposes at the same time. Of course, he is going to be defended against the Muta as he continues to pump these Hydra out. And also, he's going to be able to turn them into Lurkers for utility against the ground army of TLO. TLO is investing in +2 ranged quicker than his opponent. It's also going for Baneling speed to counter the Hydralisk, I guess. Maybe get some run-bys going. What are these overlords doing? There's Hydra on the field. These are all very vulnerable. Are they going to become dropper lords? What's going on here? One Mita is picked out of the sky. Cham is supply blocked yet again. Cham's been supply blocked quite a few times this game. If Cham finds this Overlord Cloud, though, TLO is going to be infinitely supply blocked. But that's not going to happen, at least for now. TLO moves in, he connects a couple biles there, he isolates the 4th base at the high yield location, and he will get the kill on that. That's going to put TLO up an entire hatchery. Worker count is even, but of course, Cham is going to be mining much less efficiently than his opponent. And the mineral patches in the main and in the natural are dwindling at this point in the game. So Cham is going to be wanting to move out to a 4th location. It's going to be a little bit salty about losing that base. He's going to take one to the right side. This is way too many lurkers for TLO to push into. He does connect the biles, but this choke point is just a very dicey proposition for an engagement from our red Zerg. Cham can hold this all day with his eyes closed. This location, however, is a little bit less defended. The early Hydralisks do get overrun. Cham moves in. He does set up a concave, but there's not enough here. So many biles are connecting. Cham isn't microing against them at all. He does buy time for his lurkers to reburrow, but he definitely took the worst of those trades. 5,500 resources lost to our blue Zerg to 3,800 of our red. TLO has the superior positioning here. He will overrun the remaining lurkers. Cham does come in from 2 angles. He should be able to clean this up, but devastating losses have happened for the blue Zerg. While army supplies are even for now, Cham had a lot of high-value units go down in that engagement. Now, TLO also lost a lot of lurkers there. Okay, alright, the Overlord Cloud has been found. Only one of them gets picked off. That was a lot less of an apocalypse than I thought it would be. TLO morphs in a bunch more Ravagers. But basically, TLO could afford those trades. Cham couldn't. TLO has a 5th hatchery. He's mining more efficiently, or he was at the time at least. Cham just reestablished his 4th base. Okay, a little bit of oversaturation is going on still, but TLO also has the high yield location, so he's mining extra gas basically for free. He's mining more gas with fewer workers. Such value. So many biles have connected this game. Cham just doesn't find it efficient to micro against them, I guess. These Ravagers are going to out DPS Cham all day. Upgrades are even for the ground forces, but Ravagers shoot many times. That was not a good sentence. Ravagers shoot a little bit quicker than Roaches, so they're able to get that damage upgrade off a little bit faster than the Roaches overall and create more value. Cham has stabilized, though. TLO's last attack wasn't the best. He is pulling ahead in army supply. He does have that 5th hatchery up and running. He's made gases over there as well. He pulls ahead 11 workers. Vipers are on the field here for TLO. So again, while army supply appears even, TLO has the higher value army. He's got those Vipers in the air, he's got the Ravagers. The Ravagers could be analogous to Lurkers of Champ in value, but the Vipers make them a lot less strong, a lot less stable in this coming engagement. One Lurker down, 2 Lurkers down. It's not gonna get it. Is he gonna get a third? Not quite. Champ splits off a hit squad. This is a risky move. If either of these groups engages without the other, TLO will overrun it, and this is what I was worried about. Cham bleeds off a few units to the left attack squad, but the right squad will make it in if it wants to. Okay, it's going to run away as well. TLO splits his forces in half. He definitely has enough to hold on this side. He takes out the Lurkers first. There's just one Hydra left here. TLO has a nice combined arms force. He's going to win the engagement on the right as well. Oh, he gets both the Lurkers. Had Cham burrowed those, he would have definitely won, but he might still win. Okay. It's gonna be close. TLO holds on the right side as well. Knight is being dropped in the main, but there's no units in here. Okay, Cham starts loading it up. The Nidus is denied. TLO has pretty much total map dominance. +3 Carapace hitting for Cham, +3 weapons have already hit for TLO. Lurkers burrow. Cham has gone for another Nidus play, but it was shut down in the background. The Overlords are being hunted by hit squads of Mutalisks. Nidus falls. TLO continues pushing forward. There's just nothing left for Cham. Even the high-yield gas location hatchery is under siege. Once again, TLO barrels forward. GG is called. And TLO takes game number 1. In the bottom right corner of Simulacrum, as the red Zerg from Team Liquid, it's the little one. And in the top left, as the blue Zerg from Exxon, it's Cham. TLO is up 1-0. It's looking to move on to the round of 8. Cham needs to pull back 2 games in the series. Did open hatch first again. TLO also opened hatch first. This time he's going to throw down a gas. And one would assume a pool. There it is. No quick third hatch on this map. Simulacrum is a lot riskier than Eternal Empire. Eternal Empire just has such a longer rush distance. Simulacrum is a pretty mid-sized map. Pretty competitive, pretty generic. Generic in the best way possible. There's not really gimmicks that affect the play. Of our competitors. Mouse positioning, please. There we go. Now we can have effective camera work. Both players take their third hatch at the 236 mark. Both players will have link speed at the same time. TLO is actually going up to 8 lings. Okay, so this is our first, like, unusual deviation. Cham is going for a wall off. He's dropped an Evo Chamber. He's dropped a Baneling Nest. Okay, he's getting 6 lings of his own. TLO is going to be able to DPS this down a little bit, but he will ultimately be deflected. Ling speed has arrived. TLO is really committing to this Ling Flood. Cham does not have enough defenses up yet. He does have 16 lings in production, but he should lose this third hatch. I don't know why he didn't make Banelings. 2 Banelings change everything. But Cham is just kind of tunnel visioning. He's going to lose the third hatch. He's making more lings. He's going for +1 melee. And I think Cham is going to go for an all-out counterattack against our Red Zerg. Yellow did sneak out. 8 more drones behind this. See them still in production. Yellow is going to need a lot of defensive lings. 2 Banelings morphing in. Third one just started up. 4th and 5th at the 3rd. Cham cancels 1. The 2nd connects. And this is, those Baneling connections were too good. Cham's trying to get his own Baneling connections. That was tremendous. But there's not lings to capitalize on that success. Banelings are being traded out left and right, but TLO ultimately holds. He's up a base. And this is dire straits for Cham. Seven more Banelings morphing in for our Blue Zerg. Cham launches another wave of lings. Not a single drone being made. He's powering these out. He does have +1. So these lings are going to pack a punch. TLO's Baneling hits were really good, but it wasn't... I almost said it wasn't enough, but this is still ongoing. Only 3 drones have fallen. TLO gets a wall off. He brought down the Baneling from the top. Didn't do the best. Cham accidentally crashes one of his Banelings into an egg. TLO's Roach count continues to rise. Oh, save this Roach with 1 HP. It regened 1, so saved it at 1. It's back up to 4, 5. +1 lings can engage roaches and get kills. TLO's morphing injured roaches into cocoons to buy time. But Cham is going to throw in the towel. GG is called. TLO takes the series 2-0 and moves on to the round of 8. No, what he did? No, I want to play StarCraft. Not like this. In the bottom left, as the Red Zerg from Team Liquid here in the round of 8. It's the little one, and in the top right corner, from Ting Mobile, it's Neeb. Why did I turn the music off? It's another best of 3. And these guys is going to be moving on to the semifinals. I gotta suppress the Zerg bias. You know, I'm swallowing it. It's dying in my stomach. It tastes bitter. But we gotta give the old non-biased caster try. That tree is so weird, man. It's like a tree that's implanted into the ground. I guess it's supposed to show that like there's is it like a shrub? Because it's very clearly like this tree model, but inside the ground. Anyway, nothing's happening right now. Neeb's doing a standard wall off at the front. TLO didn't try any shenanigans. Just opened your standard hatch gas pool. What we're looking for next is Neeb's first tech building, and whether or not TLO takes the third base in the next minute 20 seconds. Note, I said within the next minute 20 seconds, not at minute 20 seconds. Okay, TLO is going to make the play for the third. Has the money. Okay, drops it. Neeb's going to open Stalker. This is a pretty early scout of Neeb's base from that Overlord. And it's gonna be a Robo Twilight opener from Neeb. This Twilight went down suspiciously early. This means one of two things: Resonating Glaives or Dark Templar. TLO did see the timing on that Twilight Council. It's going to be a Resonating Glaives play. We've seen TLO hold this to varying success depending on his opponent. Varying degrees of success depending on his opponent. Parting kind of... I've seen him hold once against Parting, but like the other 5 times, Parting totally tore him apart. I've not seen Neeb play in a hot minute. I'm gonna be interested how he does here. Okay. He's going to be a little bit committed. He's going for the Dark Templar follow-up. He's going to move in with his initial Adepts, and then DTs are going to warp in behind that. And then, failing a DT strike, he'll morph them into Archons and then continue from there. So this is going to be relentless pressure on the Zerg. How all-in he gets from this point is up to him. But given the heavy Adept count, given the Dark Shrine, I think it's going to be pretty all-in. And then if he gets damage done, we'll take a third. TLO has Overlord speed. He's going to scout the Dark Shrine. Roaches are under development. Some Lings are out on the field. And the purpose of these Lings is most certainly not to kill this number of Adepts. It's to limit their mobility. So he's going to try to get a wraparound and tie them down. Roaches are very good at fighting Adepts, but they're not, they can't do anything against the mobility, really. It's really hard to micro your Roaches to stop Adepts from doing things. So the Lings should go on top of the Shade. There we go. Neeb's not even going to want to finish that. Didn't bother with the DTs having been scouted. He's going to go right into Archon. And this actually isn't going to be all in. He dropped a third Nexus behind this, and he's just trying to get harassment done. But an astounding 0 drone kills have happened. TLO has to be really happy right now. Neeb has to continue committing to this. Some of the roaches split off to intercept the Adepts. And Neeb does not finish the Shade. He's going to head back home. TLO sent those 12 Zerglings out onto the map. Gets a wraparound on the Nexus. The shields are holding for now. But that hull damage has begun to coalesce. Neeb does make it in time. He will save the Nexus. At least from the Lings. Yellow is following up with roaches. There's quite a bit of sentry energy here. 3 force fields could be dropped. In fact, 3 force fields are dropped. Resonating Glaive Adepts are just pumping out the DPS. 2 Archons are recalled in the Warp Prism, and that's going to be a solid hold from Neeb. TLO wasn't committed to this, though. He dropped a Spire behind it. He's going to send reinforcements to the front to try and buy time for that Spire to finish. He actually might... If that Warp In finishes, which it will, TLO will be repelled here. Spire's finishing up. 9 more roaches on the way. Is he really going to try Muta with 2 Archons on the field? Neeb elevators into the main. Warp Prism goes down, the Archon goes down. This Immortal is totally abandoned, though, and Recall is not off cooldown yet. F's in chat. 4 drones finally fall for TLO. That's the first economic damage Protoss has gotten, but Neeb is ahead 7 workers against a Zerg player, and TLO has not dropped a 4th. TLO gets some Muta onto the field. As Neeb scouted the Spire, I think he... No, he did not. I thought an Adept Shade went back here, but apparently not. Baneling Nest is about halfway done as well. TLO is going to take the high yield gas as a 4th. Neeb's going into Blink to deal with these Mutalisk, but TLO didn't make too many. He made like 3. Actually, he didn't make like 3. He made 3. Just to force a reaction out of Neeb. But Neeb's got to be suspicious. He's like, you sent in 3 Mutalisk? 3? Are we being real right now? +1 ground weapons are going to finish for the Protoss. Melee and ranged on the way for the little one. Neeb pushes out, takes down an Overlord. But we are going to hit the late game. Army supplies are dead even. Workers are in favor of TLO now. TLO is going Langbane Ravager. Baneling speed is only halfway done. TLO is getting ready to pounce as his upgrades finish. You don't want to engage without those upgrades, though. 2 Ravagers get cut down. Neeb sees his chance. He's going to push out. Baneling speed isn't finished. +1 melee and ranged are not finished. Okay, TLO is going to back off. On to creep. Neeb picks off another Overlord. Gonna get another one. This will supply block TLO, but he has 6 more in production, and that will take him to 200 supply. So cap +2 is on the way for Neeb. Things have calmed down It looked like there was going to be a climactic battle for a few moments, but just didn't happen. TL needs to be thinking about a 5th and 6th base. Neeb is up to 4 Nexus, and you can't 19 drones went down somewhere. What? What did I miss? All those bases are saturated. Okay. TLO's coming in from 2 sides. Some of the biles are connecting, some are whiffing. Army supplies are still even. There's still so many immortals on the field, though. Blink forward from Neeb. Yellow needs to get back on the creep. He's going to buy some time with these biles, but not deal any damage. Shichi is called Neeb in the top left corner of Simulacrum. That's the red Zerg. It's Team Liquid's the little one. And in the bottom right, that's the blue Protoss. It's Ting's Neeb. Neeb sends out a probe scout. Not going to get any kind of hatch block off. So he did scout after Gateway. Neeb was never able to really successfully get in on the economy of TLO until the very end there, and I still don't know. I have to go back and watch the replay after. That was a failure of my casting. Did not see what took down 16 drones at the end there. But Neeb won the major engagement at the end of the game. TLO was on a herd economy, and apparently just didn't feel like he could claw the way back, so he tapped out. Neeb's gonna open Stargate. TLO invests in the 3rd. Very chill opener on Simulacrum. The Adept makes sure TLO's being honest. It cancels the Shade. It's going to suicide into the natural of TLO. TLO pulls the battle drones. The battle drone is fighting bravely, but 2 of his brethren and a Zergling will fall. There's nothing here to shoot out of the wall to stop TLO from taking the shields off the Cybercore, but 2 Adepts are warped in to change that situation. TLO taps at the wall again. He sees the Adept composition. And, I mean, Neeb drops a Robo. It's not going to be Resonating Glaive's play this time around. But Neeb is maybe trying to fake out TLO. These guys should... Oh no, he's going to shade them across, try to get some drone damage done. Makes sense. But it's Phoenix double Oracle in the main. I feel like that Phoenix was pretty wasted. These guys should have gone in as the Adepts were hitting. Neeb shades up the ramp. Oracles think about coming in, and then they nope the heck out. Half dozen drones go down. The Lings are fighting here, but they don't have a full surround on the Adepts, so some of them will survive and make it into the natural of TLO. And this is insane amounts of drone damage. Almost, nope, a dozen drones do go down. At least it's not a baker's dozen. He holds at the third. TLO tries to get a run by into the natural. It's not going to be successful. He's taking a fourth behind this. He's still fighting. TLO fighting! Charge. +1. Started up for Neeb at the 645 mark. More like the 640 mark, but you get the gist. TLO tries to get a surround on sentries. He will get the kills, despite the force fields making it take a little bit longer, making TLO weed out a couple extra Lings. Neeb shot a laser into the rocks to assert dominance. The Oracles are going to go try and get some drone damage done. Once again, more importantly, they're gonna get some scouting done. Okay, one of them does dive in. It's gonna get 2 drone kills and forces Spore. High Templar gang is here for Neeb. TLO. It's getting up the Baneling squad. Unfortunately for TLO, High Templar squad morphed into Archon squad, which is going to be pretty tanky against what TLO has to offer. And there's no support units. There's no Hydra, really. There's a couple, but, like, this isn't... Okay. Here come the reinforcements. Neeb waited to go in. It's going to be a tough hold for TLO. It's doable, but it's going to be tough. TLO reacts to the charge lot run by. He uses a lot of his Banelings. The Hydra are coming back down the ramp from the main. The fourth is already fallen. And Neeb is taking his own fourth behind this. Oh! A huge pack of Lings is taken out of the fight temporarily. He can't quite engage with his army in the positioning that it is now. He is going to recall home. Just play it safe. He's already ahead. He's going to get farther ahead. Charge Lot Harass is taken out by TLO. Neeb rockets up to 105 supply. This is a desperate push from TLO. He doesn't transition out of this without getting massive damage done. Huge storms on the Hydra, and Neeb is going to hold. Oh man, the Hydra get taken out by a stasis ward. F in the chat for those 4 Hydra. This is like... TLO's kind of running on empty here. This is like the last couple drops of gas in the tank that are making you... Okay. I didn't even need to finish the analogy. TLO played his heart out there. But Neeb ultimately emerged victorious. At long last, in the bottom left corner of Zen, as the red Protoss, it's Petit Drogo. And in the top right, as the blue Zerg, it's Vanya. Score is currently 1-0 in favor of Petit Drogo. Imagine not vetoing Zen in a PVZ. Oh boy. Petit Drogo is a brave one, Neri. Drogo is sending this probe out to a suspicious location. Okay. I don't know what that was about, actually, when all is said and done. Vanya is opening standard hatch first. Oh, you know what? There's a cheese you can do where you send out roaches after taking the high yield as your second base. And you just grab that gas, send over 3 drones, and mine away at it. Not very common on Zen, though. Like, I've never seen it actually performed on Zen. But I do think that's what Petit Drogo was looking for. Maybe a player-specific thing. I haven't casted Vanya in a long time, so... It's gonna be a DT play out of Drogo. Drop down to 230 Twilight. Well, more like 220-ish Twilight. And it's going to be hard not to get scouted. Wait a minute. Vanya did see the Twilight Council, did see the Robo, didn't see the Dark Shrine, but Vanya's gonna know. It's either DTs or Resonating Glaives. Out comes the prism. Down goes the scouting link. The scouting link is going to see the prism, though. It's going to clip right on the edge of vision. Vanya has a lair out. Is going to have an overseer. And is going to have 7 roaches. Drogo isn't going to bother with the DTs. He's going to dispense with them and go straight into double Archon drop. There's too many roaches on the high ground. Drogo will get an Overlord kill, but it's gonna back out and go home for now. More and more roaches pop for Vanya. Forge goes down for Drogo. Third Nexus is finishing up Vanya. It's going to move on to the next round of decision making. Do I attack? Or do I take a 4th base? The next minute or so. Archon drop. Picks out 3 drones. Vanya sends out a hit squad of roaches. Okay, no. He's going on the attack. So he's overwhelming the defenders for now. 2 immortals have the potential to do a lot of damage, but not if they're dead. First immortal's fallen. Second one's kiting back. Another one's gonna pop from the roto, but this is pretty much over. Vanya overruns Petit Drogo. The probes are falling. More and more and more and more. 20 probes go down. There's just nothing that Drogo can really do from here. He's essentially base racing with 2 Archons. 1 Archon. Vanya storms into the main. And that's going to be GG. Vanya. In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it's Neeb. And in the top right, as the blue Toss, it's Parting. I'm not sure what the score is in this match, but welcome if you're here to view it. Both players mirror openers, as is standard, as is tradition. A little bit of a different wall off on each side of the map. Parting sends out a probe to the bottom right corner. This could just be to scout for proxy. It could be to drop one of his own. It is going to be to drop one of his own. Neeb drops his own proxy pylon. Parting goes into Stargate. Neeb goes into Stargate. So totally, well, not totally. Parting's Wall Off is a little bit different, but very similar builds from our two players thus far. Double Stalker opening for Neeb. We're going to see a divergence. Double Adept. 2 more to follow this up for Parting. Parting Stargate. Already finished up. Already producing an Oracle. And he slides the Adepts around the onrushing Stalkers of Neeb. Parting drops a shield battery in the wall. First blood has been drawn. Neeb gets a probe kill. One Adept will get taken out. Second Adept. Oh, I thought for a second there Parting was going to let the shield battery finish. He opted not to. Neeb sends the Oracle to the front. These Adepts of Parting had a little bit of trouble breaking in the wall. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 probes go down for Parting. And that's game-ending damage. This game's over. There's no way Parting pulls back. I'll eat a shoe if Parting finds his way back into this game. Okay, I need to issue an amendment. If these two Oracles don't get an equal amount of kills, then Parting won't find his way back into this game. And they didn't. So GG is called. Neeb takes the win. In the bottom right corner of Nightshade, as the Red Protoss, currently up 2-0 in this best of 5, it's Neeb. And in the top left, as the Blue Protoss, it's Parting. Neeb with a dominant performance tonight. So this is a little bit of a change to the format. Again, there is prizes. There is prizes. There are prizes being paid out through 4th place. So 3rd place and 4th place are going to take home $50 apiece. 2nd place is taking home $100, and then 1st is taking home the grand $200 prize, as well as the bulk of the ESL Pro Tour points. Neeb sends in a probe scout. It's going to be Stalker Sentry opener from Neeb, so it's going to be defensive. He's going to go for a second Nexus, you can already tell, with the posturing of that pylon. And he's going to get out a hallucinated Phoenix Scout to make sure he's safe from aggression. Parting is going with a more aggressive double Stalker opening. He is probably going to follow this up with 2 more Stalkers. No. He's going to go Stalker Sentry after this. Run down the probe. Oh! I was wrong twice! He's going double Sentry. Interesting. He is going to go on the attack, though. Is he, though? No. There's that hallucinated Phoenix. Going off on a journey to see the things that it can see. Bring back intel. The Red Protoss. Harding gets his own scout off. Both players know what the other is up to. It's going to be blink on both sides. Neeb drops is going to complete a forge. So we're probably going to see a third Nexus pretty soon in the future. The worker race is neck and neck, as is the army supply race. Both players just staying so on top of their scouting. As soon as one Phoenix expires, another is on the way. Constant vision is kept over their opponent's base. Hallucinated Phoenix battle going on the left. Haha, I dealt 0 damage to you, but I dealt 0 damage to you. How interesting. I like that hallucinated Phoenixes collect energy, like at a normal rate too, but they can't actually do anything. It would be cool if they could like lift hallucinated units. +1's about to finish on both sides of the map. Charge is on the way for parting. Neeb has instead chosen to invest in a Warp Prism. +2 is on the way for a red Protoss, but he's not going to wait for it. He is making his move. Parting is there to meet him at the top of the ramp. It's going to blink forward, and first Stalker kill goes to our blue Protoss. Nice snipe on. Okay. Parting's going to push forward. The Zealots are absorbing a lot of Stalker shots. Second Stalker goes down as well. Neeb is roving out on the map. Parting is shoring up his defenses. Neeb's been pressuring with these Stalkers, but the Stalker ball's looking tinier and tinier by the second, and now Parting is making it even tinier. Neeb replenishes with reinforcements, but he's gonna get steamrolled if he's not careful. +2 is gonna finish up seconds apart for the two players, and I think Parting is just trading better overall. 400 more resources lost for Parting, but I think Neeb's lost more gas units. I think a lot of the resources lost for Parting here have been Zealots, as opposed to the Stalkers of Neeb, and that's reflected in this high-value Archon composition. Okay, that was a nice pick on the Archon. A lot of these Stalkers are heavily wounded. They've taken a lot of hull damage. So while they have a lot of micro capability, every time one of them takes a little bit of hull damage, that's going to limit that utility, limit their mobility, or you know, the amount of risk that Neeb can take. I've once heard like health bars described as the amount of mistakes you are allowed to make, and I kind of agree with that a little bit some of the time. I think health can also be a resource that's traded out. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mistake, but when you're talking about Blink Stalkers, your hull damage is basically like a non-replenishing meter on how many mistakes you can make while engaging your opponent. Parting has gone for additional units, while Neeb has invested in +3. It's an expensive upgrade, and he's gonna fall behind an army supply for a second. Okay, another warp in is going to shore things up, but Parting is just man-moding this engagement. The Stalker pullbacks are so real. It seems like he's doing more than one Stalker at once, like on the opposite ends of the line. And Neeb is just losing this engagement a little bit at a time. There's just so much power coming out from Parting. Oh my god. Blink after blink after blink. Parting puts a point on the board. In the top left corner of Simulacrum, as the Red Protoss, currently in the lead in this best of 5, it's Neeb. And in the bottom right, as the Blue Toss, it's Parting. Parting getting his first point on the board on the last map. An incredible Blink Stalker engagement closed out the deal for Parting. Neeb's macro was on point. Neeb's decision-making was on point. But Parting made it a game of pure micro. And that is the game that Parting is best at. That is the game that Parting excels with. So we forced Neeb into that situation where it came down to raw micro skill. And Neeb just... It didn't look like they were in the same league, bro. Parting's blinks were just so good. Both players are going to proxy. Proxy gate thrown down by Parting. Neeb is going to go proxy Stargate. So this this is kind of gonna blind counter Neeb, I think. Parting pushes out with his first Stalker. He's trying to entrap the no, he's just going around to the left. He's checking for proxies. Unfortunately, he's checking for proxies in the wrong location. Parting. He's getting his first Stalker out at the Max Pax Gateway. It's not really a Max Pax Gateway. He's not going to stop the Oracle from finishing, but he will be able to kill the Oracle. Will he, though? Oh, it's going to survive in the orange. It's diving in on the probe line. The shield battery is only halfway done. This energy will be all used up by the time it finishes. 4 probes go down. Neeb is at a 7-worker lead. Shutting down the Stargate is nice. But Neeb is going to have time to prepare against this attack. Parting moves in. Couple stalkers are picked off. The probes have begun to fall for Neeb. Parting needs to get at least 2 more probe kills. Okay, 1. One volley went off on that gateway. That's a little unfortunate. About half these probes would be gone had that little bit of mismicro not occurred. But Parting, I think, is going to be just fine. He is railroading Neeb. He's backed him literally into a corner. GG is called. In the top right corner of Zen as the red Protoss, it's Neeb from Clan Ting. And in the bottom left, we're not going to say the name of his org. It's the blue Protoss, Parting. Parting, pulling out superior micro 2 games in a row. It was a single game away from being eliminated, but can he pull off a third here on Zen? Double gate Cyber. Double gate Cyber. The 2 Protoss are going to play honestly this time around. Parting's dropped a proxy pylon. What's he gonna throw down there? Neeb scouts into the main. He's gonna see that there's only 1 pylon here. That's the tell. Whenever your opponent's proxying you, you're gonna know, because they're gonna be lacking a pylon. And these 2 players are good enough to collect that information and read it accurately. Neeb is going to go for double adept. It's gonna be a proxy robo out of Parting. And you can see our red Protoss has already sent out a scouting probe. This is good damage from Neeb. Yeah. Finally loses the first adept, but 6 probes go down. The Enamir matchup, this early in the game, that is incredible damage. Parting knows how good that damage was. He's gonna send the stalkers out. Neeb is preparing his defenses, and I think they're going to hold. And Immortal's out on the field now, and while Parting has his own Immortal, the Red Immortal has the high ground, it has a shield battery, and it has 2 sentries backing it up. There's no blink here for Parting, so a force field in the right place could be game ending. The Warp Prism here to help out. Maybe a little bit less game ending. Wow, that looks so cool with this color and this skin. Very satisfying. Very sleek. Knee Blues is a gateway, but that's, I mean, it's certainly not enough damage. Parting is facing 2 more Adepts in his main and another... he micros into the Assimilator to avoid the injured probes getting sniped down, but he still loses 6 of them. So, he was closing the worker gap for a while, but that gap has expanded once again. Neeb's going for a double immortal drop. Neeb loses the Warp Prism. He's going to get out with both immortals, though, on the recall. Neeb has yet to drop a second Nexus, as does Parting, but Parting is at a worker deficit. He keeps having to pump out these probes. So, Parting is going into Phoenix. Neeb gets out a Colossus. Well, he will get out of Colossus before anything else happens. He scouts the move out of Parting with the hallucination, and Parting no longer feels safe. He's going to pull back home. Probe is positioned to drop this Nexus. 3, 2, 1. No. It's not going to drop the Nexus? Okay. Neeb feels comfortable to move out. Does have an army supply advantage. Not only does he have an army supply advantage, a lot of this army supply is tied up in Phoenix for Parting. Phoenix that haven't done any probe damage yet. Phoenix that are engaging without a ground army. One of them gets taken out. Neeb shades forward. He cancels the shade. He's gonna back out. Phoenix get intercepted again. There's not enough anti-air in range to get any kills, but Neeb is now long distance mining from his natural, as half the mineral patches in his main have mined out. Parting keeps investing in these Phoenix. I hope he's got a game plan, because I'm really favoring Neeb right now. He pushes in. Slowly DPSing down the Swarp Gate. Phoenix are finally going to town on Neeb's probes, but that's going to make them floating paperweights when they try to engage this army. Warp Prism is adding a lot of utility to the robo units of Neeb. GG is called. In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it's Neeb. And in the top right, as the blue Zerg, it's Bly. We're here in the grand finals, the ESL Open number 19 on the Americas server, except we're on EU. Even though we finally have an American in the grand finals. Yeah, he has opted to play on the EU server. And apparently has opted to let Bly pick freaking Zen as the first map. There's a lot on the line here tonight. More so than ever before in the ESL Open Weeklies. The prize pool has gone from $100 to $400. $50 will go to Parting and Vanya in the round of 4. But one of these players is going to take second place with our normal grand prize of $100 going to him. And our ultimate winner of the evening is going to take home $200 US. However, the ESL Pro point distribution is going to remain the same. Second place is only going to get 5 points. First place is going to get jackpot of 10 ESL Pro Tour points. Fly is open Hatchcast pool. Neeb is starting the Zen wall off. Probably going to see Pylon down here to block off the one hex opening. Bye. We'll see the Stargate opener from Neeb. He's gonna go for a third base. Fly gets first blood, taking out the probe. Neeb is looking to get revenge, but is that the correct decision? Because he could just dive on the drone line. Fly is continuing to pump out drones. Here comes the Adept. Looking to take some drone lives. Neeb does let Shade finish. Yeah, engages in the choke. There aren't any Lings here to intercept yet. 2 are coming back. Oh, nope, there was 1 Ling. Look at that. 2 drones do get picked off before the Adept falls. Oracle is deflected from Neeb. It looks like Bly might lose an Overlord. Yeah, he doesn't have Transfuse. But he's not going to be supply blocked from it. Neeb goes into Twilight Council. He's getting up a Forge. And he's getting up a third base. It's always the eternal question when you hit the mid-game of ZVP. Does Bly try to go for a third? Or, excuse me, does Bly try to go for a fourth? Or does he all in the Protoss third? Phoenix sees the lair. 2 more Adepts enter the natural. I feel like this counter on the side... Okay, well, I was gonna say, I feel like the counter on the side has perpetually just remained at 2 all game. It's like, oh, 2 drone deaths, and as soon as it's about to reset, it like blinks off for a frame, it comes back on. Well, need till 2 more drones. Not 3, not 1, just 2. But he finally broke that curse. Killed a 3rd drone. Why? Should be transferring some of these drones out to the 3rd to mine some gas pretty soon, I should think. Going into Infestation Pit. He has dropped a 4th as well. He's going for Nidus as well, which does mean this is going to be a Swarm Host play out of Bly. Templar Archives finishes for Neeb. He's going to see the Nidus. He heard the rumblings, and now he sees them. I don't know what kind of accent that was. Neeb decides to counter this by going on the attack. Locust Wave is going to connect with the probe line. There isn't really a meaty army to deflect this, but a Locust Wave should scare the Zealots off. There's hallucinated Archons in the mix. And 1 real Archon as well. A couple Roaches are skittering out. Oh no! Bly tries to evac Swarm Hosts. Most of them will make it to the Nidus. Like 2 went down there, 3-ish. This Archon absorbed quite a little bit of damage. The Nidus goes down. Luckily, these units are still alive thanks to the Nidus dropped on the other side of the map. Bly needs to build a new network, though. Where when Neeb shuts this down, all the Swarm Hosts instantly die. But I think Bly might instantly die if Neeb tries to go into the natural at this point. The Nexus will fall, but this production's going to be a-okay. Even with the world's biggest Artosis pylon, there's 2 Templar Archives up here, okay. But two Templar Archives are not, it's not going to matter at all. Neeb has overwhelmed the Zerg. He's pushing in here. GG is called. Neeb claims. In the bottom right corner of Simulacrum. He was victorious in game number 1, and he's looking to take game number 2. It's the Red Protoss, Neeb. In the top left corner. With food poisoning, but still here. To take on the finals. It's the Blue Zerg. Bly. Oh god. No, I know there aren't that many of you in chat today, but I value every one of you guys being here. I hope providing adequate entertainment for your evening. As always, it's been an honor to cast this tournament. So many participants from the round of 128 onwards. And let me tell you, it wasn't like, you know, we had 65 players, so technically there was a round of 128. No, it was like a solid 116 players this evening. So thank you to everyone who participated for making this tournament as big and as grand as it is, because if it was just the players that, like, you knew were going to be in the round of 8 playing, well, we'd only have a round of 8 and the tournament would be over in an hour and it would be really lame. So thanks for coming out tonight. EU Masters bronze. GM or gold. And it adds value to, in my opinion, it adds value to the two players that are here after all of it. So many good players went down today, man. Harding, Denver, Nina, Jennison. A lot of Grandmasters, a lot of pro-level players, a lot of semi-pro level players. Betty White, Avalo. I could name them all day, man. But as you always hope in a tournament, you know, the two best suited arrive in the finals. Both of them. Fighting very hard to get here. Fly. With a nice probe pick-off, sneaking two Lings into the natural other Protoss. He snuck out a third. He's going to face the Wrath of the Adept. Queen moves out to intercept immediately. He gets a couple pot shots off. Neeb doesn't want to complete the Shade. Fly has some Lings ready to intercept any outcoming Adepts. There's only 4 here. Neeb has gone double Stargate, and this will get scouted by Bly. Hopefully he clicks the buildings, but even by their placement, he should know what's up. The Overlord gets picked off. Neeb shouldn't let the Shade finish. He's not going to. Fly sets up a surround on the Adepts. He will get it, but they shade out. They take down 3 drones. And it's going to be double Oracle play out of Neeb. Well, shouldn't say double Oracle play. It's going to be mass Oracles out of Neeb, I think. He throws down a third. But we might see up to 15 Oracles. As crazy as that might sound. Neeb takes out 15 drones between the Adepts and the Oracles. This is a combined arms force that has devastated the Zerg economy, left it in recession, and the Oracles are still standing strong. Neeb throws down a third Stargate. Moves his queens to intercept, but he loses another 8 workers. It's 40 workers to 62 in favor of Neeb. Bly does a little bit of a roach aggression, but he needs a lot more roaches. It's going to cause some probe damage. However, more roaches are going to die. Well, that was about 7 roaches, so 7 roaches die in exchange for 7 probes-ish. They got the adepts too, but here's some more adepts! Full warp in of them. 40 sets of Zerglings or 38 Zerglings being made here. They're only halfway done. They should be completed as the shade finishes, but they're not there to wrap around on the adepts, and that means even more drones will die. Fly's doing a good job of... yeah, it's hard, guys. It's real hard. I'm sorry. Neeb's dominating here. Sometimes that's all you can say, really. There's not even transfuse on the queens anymore, and this Oracle count is going to continue to rise if Neeb wants it to, but I don't think he does. He's going into Blink. He's getting +1 weapons and armor. My devastation. 24 more drones have been lost. Bly is launching a last-ditch attack at the wall of Neeb, but he's going to get all of 2 gateway kills, and that's going to be all she wrote. This is a full wall off behind here. Attempts to run by at the 3rd. There's force fields on these sentries, though. And Bly just can't engage that. Bly's still hanging in there. He's getting out more drones. He snuck out a few Mutalisks. He should be able to pick off all these Oracle. Oh. Okay, he's not going to pick off all the Oracles. It's going to make a dive for the main. Some Stalkers will be there to meet him. Shield battery is finishing up behind us as well. Oh, 1 Muta dies. The second warp in of Stalkers is going to seal the fate of these Mutalisks. The Oracles trade out for 9 more drones. GG is called. Neeb goes up 2. In the bottom left corner of Everdream. He's a single game away from elimination. Can he bring it back 3 games in a row? It's the Blue Zerg. Bly. In the top right, as the Red Protoss, it's Ting's Neeb. Neeb's looking to gain himself a hefty $200 this evening. Only he can win this game. Bly opens gas pool. Has a drone patrolling out here. Is he gonna go for the proxy hatch? No. He's gonna go for quick 3 hatch, maybe? I don't... What is this? What's going on here? Oh my god, Neeb doesn't scout it. He's gonna be worried about the proxy hatch play. I guarantee it. He didn't see it, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, no, he didn't scout this. Why pull that drone so early? I was wondering what he was doing. Yeah, look, guys, my bad. I thought he was gonna proxy hatch in the natural of the Protoss. It's kind of the technique that he's known for. That he pioneered, if you will. He's been doing it for 10 years, but today he just got his second base. That's what he did. He opened pool first, got his second base. Bly's gone up to 3 base. What did he need? No. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So, something interesting to note, now, this is the NA ESL Weekly, right? So, Bly does have to play on NA terms. But what that meant for him, basically, is he started this tournament at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's now 7 o'clock in the morning for him. So it's got to be a little bit brutal. So if we see any major slip-ups in play, don't be too harsh on Bly. He literally stayed up all night to play this tournament. Okay, Neeb just gave... He didn't... Oh, it was a fake! I was like, that was suspiciously in range of the Overlord. It was a fake Forge, fake Twilight. So Bly didn't actually see the Twilight, though. He saw the Forge. I don't think he even had time to click on it. And that was like... That was too quick of a cancel from Neeb, and that was too quick of a kill on the like, he should have... I don't know, he should have mismicroed the Stalker or something. Because I don't think this actually means anything to Bly. So, 3 gateways are finishing behind this. And when you go up to 6 gateways... I think this is gonna be... a little bit more committed than Bly thinks it will. Okay, Neeb took a lot of damage on this Warp Prism, though. Prism scouts the Roaches scout the Prism. Bly is dropping Biles just to zone the Protoss out. He definitely cannot engage this army. He's going to back up onto Creep. He has taken a 4th at the high yield location. Neeb's pumped out another Immortal. Bly tries for a Ling backstab. He's not going to get in the wall. It's fully walled off by Neeb. He knows Bly too well. This is a hallucinated Warp Prism, covering for the real Warp Prism. Bly is patiently letting this hatch die. He's going to be a little bit supply blocked from the supply that was tied up on that hatch. Does connect some Biles. Takes down a couple Stalkers. He's kiting backwards. Every second that ticks by is time for more and more reinforcements to come out for the Zerg. Has Bly overextended? There's 3 Immortals in the concave here. Just pounding out the damage. I think the answer is yes. I think Bly has officially overextended. Oh, no! He sniped the Warp Prism! That changes everything! Now Neeb is pushing in toward this hatch. It's still going to be a hard hold for Bly. He's pulling the boys. Okay, he didn't save the hatch. This is still a 2-base all-in for Neeb. Let's say this. There's a universe where Bly pulls back from this. He saved pretty much all of his drones. He also broke in the wall somehow, but didn't actually get any probe kills, I don't think. Okay, he surrounds the Adepts in the main. The core army is still out here. Neeb has sent another warp prism to the front to reinforce. The only thing I fear about for Bly is his lack of larva. I do like that he kind of has to remake the queens to inject again. But he needs more hatches. He snuck out some more lings to attack into the wall of Neeb. Neeb's mineral patches are going to start dwindling. But he has such a massive army here. Bly pushes out. Boys are being pulled to fight. Lings come in from behind. It's a very tense moment. Bly keeps stutter stepping forward. One of the immortals falls. The second immortal gets sniped down. The third immortal goes down. It's just stalkers. 22 drones have been lost. Bly pulls back. He thinks he has enough to engage here. Bile is dropped behind the army so it can't retreat. Neeb is just letting these stalkers trade out. Neeb warped in at home. He's sending some zealots across, an adept. Several sentries. He can't engage this many roaches on creep, though. He's going to let the roaches extend off of creep. Bly doesn't want to be caught out by force fields here. Bly did re-establish his third. He's going to go back to mining. Neeb looks like he has an equal amount of probes. And I mean, technically, the count's fine, but he's starting to run out of minerals here. This warp prism is going to have to put in a lot of work. Bly is just stutter stepping around, microing as best he can against the Protoss. Lings are coming forward to limit the mobility of the stalkers. The prism's gone. Neeb's kiting back off creep. Bly is pressing forward, and he cuts down the retreating stalkers of Neeb. Neeb's making another prism. He's warping in back home again to hold off the assault of the Zerg. Bly splits off some roaches to head into the natural. Neeb gets a recall. This army is pretty much dead. They're just gonna have to trade out, and it looks like they're gonna trade out for a singular zealot. Bly pushes in. Neeb's army is dwindling. And I think Bly's done it. He takes out the prism. Nope. Narrowly misses the prism. Bile's gonna be on cooldown. GG is called. Bly puts the first on the right side of Purity and Industry as the red Protoss. It's Neeb. And at the top, as the resurgent Blue Zerg, getting his first point on the board, it's Bly. Momentum is in his favor. Can he carry it to victory? Still gotta win 2 more games. Tournament is nearing its close. Either way. Purity and Industry is a Protoss favored map in this matchup, I believe. Bly is not going to proxy hatch. He's going to open hatch gas pool, it looks like. Some light worker scuffling as Neeb tries to disrupt the flow of Bly's worker distribution to mineral patches. Get some slight mining inefficiencies going. Bly sends out a pair of lings to take care of the miscreant probe. Neeb is going to open up Stargate. Bly scouts it. And it's got to be going Shabal. Is this going to be the triple Stargate build that we saw before from Neeb in game number 2? Neeb keeps shading, keeps trying to keep the Zerg honest, get the scouts off. Maybe force some lings. This is a little bit too many lings for this stage of the game for Bly. I think he's going to try to run around the left side and get an attack off. Oracle gets a single kill. Neeb goes up to 4 gas. And he's going to get out of Phoenix as well. Oracle count has increased to 2. Is it sitting in... Yeah, it's in total vision of Bly, so he already has his queen's position to intercept these bad boys. Neeb's going to claim land, his 3rd location for his own. Phoenix is going to intercept the scouting overlord. It will die before it exits the good game design zones. Neeb sends out a hit squad of Adepts. It's getting shield batteries back home and is transitioning into double robotics facility. So I think we have a resounding answer to whether or not we were going to have that triple Stargate build. No, it's just going to be a wave of Adepts into double robo. 7 drones going down so far. Lift on one of the queens. Oracle's fighting another queen. One of the Oracles does go down. The lings will be enough to take care of these Adepts in the main. Okay, they're not positioned the best. Oh, it's a trap! Literally. Okay, 1 drone proxate. That was nice micro from Bly. $18, $19, $20, $21, $23, $24, $25, $6. Oh, yeah, 26. Those calls. 26 drones fall for Bly. A couple queens die. A bunch of lings die. He's sending out like 6 lings. There's 2 immortals stacked in the wall. And there's sentries here to defend. One probe goes down. And Bly is trying to take a 4th, but he's so far behind at this point. It's 7 army supply to 30. Bly's going into Hydra. He's starting up his ranged upgrade. Did he get speed already? He did not get speed. He's going into +2 melee as well. So once this Baneling Nest finishes, he's going to get speed started up and transition into Lingbane Hydra. Neeb warps in some more zealots. Four Archons are morphing in. Bly has evened up the army supplies somewhat, but a lot of it's in Zerglings, and the Archons and Charge Lots are going to absolutely destroy those Zerglings. Bly needs out-of-this-world Baneling connections if he wants to survive. And even if he gets those connections, he's got to wait for the Guardian Shell to wear off of the Immortals after he does his first couple ticks of damage, because Banelings crashing into Guardian Shell isn't great. Neeb is keeping the creep contained. Okay, here it is. These are beautiful force fields for Neeb. The Banelings don't get good enough connections. Bly is hanging in there. He's being a true sportsman. He's fighting to the last ling. But I think Neeb's looking to end. Down go the rocks. Couple lings get cut down. There's Banelings. We're trading out for individual zealots, essentially. The Lurkers will... will they hold down the fort? Yeah. So Bly lives for another minute. His Ling run by takes out the pylon. That's going to unpower one cannon, but 2 cannons and a shield battery are too much for these guys to engage. There's a wall off at... This is a full wall off, actually, at Neeb's third. So Lings aren't going to get in there either. Some Banelings are going to be made out of them. Might attempt to hit the probe line. But Neeb has had the Zerg contained on 3 base for over 11 minutes now. Bly's fighting spirit is to be commended. However, he is on a timer. Imagine dying to High Templar auto attack. Feels bad. Bly pushes forward. Eleven probes get picked off by the Banelings, but Those are massive storms on the Hydra. Bly's fourth is going to get picked off. He did throw down another hatch on the left side. That was a kill, though, and every resource is just so precious for Bly. 18 probes is nice, but that was a lot of gas gone to make it happen. All those banelings die without a single connection. GG is called. Neeb is your ESL Open number 19 America's Grand Champion. He's going to take home $200 in 10 ESL Pro Tour points. Bly is still going to take home 5 ESL Pro Tour points.